Most of us know that change can improve our lives, yet most don't know how to hack the brain's wiring process to change a bad habit and make the new habit stick. Most of us struggle with change. 35% kept their New Year resolutions. 19% of people keep a resolution for more than 2 years. It can take between 18 and 254 days for a person to form a new habit. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that most people who smoke try to quit smoking 8 to 11 times before breaking the habit. Change can be a struggle. But there's good news. Experts confirm that our brain is changeable. They call it self-directed neuroplasticity, or the intentional rewiring of the brain. In today's video, I will unwrap how we create bad habits to begin with, and give you 6 powerful and proven ways of making a new habit stick. First, how did we create this bad habit? Habits are responses to cues or triggers that are mostly unconscious or that have become automatic or second nature. Imagine the person who feels nervous and responds by biting their nails. They wired the habit in their brain because they felt nervous, a cue or trigger, and found relief by doing a behavior. Habit formed. Notice that there was a cue or trigger, followed by a behavior that resulted in an emotional payoff. Maybe your habit is more like cracking open a bag of chips after a hard day as you unwind in front of your favorite screen. Or smoking. Or drinking. The list goes on and on. How did you get here? Your sensory nervous system constantly monitors for actions that will deliver a hit of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. We're wired to seek connections between triggers and behaviors that lead to rewards. When your brain recognizes the connection between an action and a payoff, it files that information away in an area of the brain called the basal ganglia. This is where we develop emotions and memories, and it's not where conscious decisions are made. That's the prefrontal cortex. This is why your thinking, conscious brain can help, but isn't steering the ship. In a modern world, the brain's search for feel-good experiences can drive us in some less than helpful directions. Just like our ancestors, our brains chase that dopamine high. When a behavior gives us a reward, the brain builds a connection between that behavior and pleasure. A habit is born by linking a cue, or trigger, action and reward, and it's stored in a part of the brain outside of rational thought. In his 2012 book, The Power of Habit, journalist Charles Duhigg called this cue-action-reward routine the habit loop. Okay, but how do you break the bad habits and form new ones? Focus first on learning a new cue-action-reward routine. Act differently when you experience the old trigger. Let's say that the trigger is you arriving at your house after a hard day at work. The old behavior was to drink alcohol and eat a bag of Doritos as you take in the news. But now you walk through the door, you get into comfy exercise clothes and move in ways that make you feel good, like dancing. You notice how good it feels to move your body to shake off the day. You might add a favorite feel-good podcast as you give yourself this end-of-day gift. If you repeat this often enough, associating a good feeling with the exercise behavior, your mind will make the connection and create a new habit. This is why cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, asks you to try new things and pay attention to how they make you feel. So, to summarize the first key, feed a better habit by taking advantage of the same cues and intentional behaviors that are associated with good feelings. The second key to changing a bad habit is to help your brain associate pain with the bad habit pattern. Your brain wires to help you avoid pain. When your brain starts associating pain with a habit loop, it will search for alternatives. What does that bad habit cost you? Create images of the pain associated with the bad habit, and let your subconscious mind experience that pain with as much intensity as possible. When we experience pain with a choice, our brain helps us make a committed decision to change that some call rock bottom. Rock bottom means we're 100% committed to change because the old pattern is too painful. When you notice that your after-work Dorito habit has created lethargy and extra weight and has harmed your relationships, get emotionally clear about that pain. You don't have to make your life fall apart to make a committed decision. You need to be crystal clear about the emotional pain associated with the trigger moment that starts the bad habit loop. Some find journaling helpful to get real about the pain of choices. Should you go cold turkey with the old habit while rewiring for the new? Most can't. Instead, it's far more effective to start replacing or adjusting small parts of the habituated action. For example, if you always sit down with your glass of scotch at 6 p.m., the time and the glassware, but swap out the booze for soda. The third key is baby steps with feel-good rewards. There's nothing wrong with big, audacious goals. But most of us need smaller, bite-sized achievements along the way as we patiently rewire our brains with better habits. Accomplishing a tiny goal can offer enough of a dopamine kick to reinforce behavior and boost you to the next step. Get traction and build from there. Dr. Leo Marvin might have been right about baby steps. The fourth key is to add to an existing routine. This is like baby steps, but with a twist. Habit stacking, popularized by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, takes the mini habit idea one step further. Take a habit you already practice and add one little positive thing to your routine, like doing calf raises while you brush your teeth. If you take a snack break at 11 a.m. every day, why not walk around the block at the same time? Remember, small steps are better than no steps. The fifth key is to change your language. Your subconscious is always listening. If the way you talk about exercise is, "God, I hate it, it's hard, and I hate sweating," then you'll miss out on a dopamine hit and won't make the gym habit stick. But when you frame the gym experience as my time, my happy place where I challenge my muscles to make me look sexy, then you experience the dopamine hit you need to make the habit stick. Even if you don't believe it at first, faking it till you make it may wire neurons together to create the genuine reaction you were forcing at first eventually. Smiling even when you don't mean it can make you happy, at least to a small degree, according to a 2017 review of research. I use the affirmation, "I don't know how this habit became so easy to do, I only know it is and I'm grateful." The language is very intentional. The phrase, "I don't know how," bypasses my rational brain and speaks to the brain outside of consciousness. When I say, "This habit became so easy," I imagine myself effortlessly forming the new habit, and that image, along with the feeling of gratitude that it is already done, moves the rewiring process in the right direction. Use language to help you change, not to keep you stuck. Sixth, create an environment where new habits are easier to do than old bad habits. Remember the guy who moved his body when he got home rather than pound down a bag of Doritos? He had his exercise clothes ready and was waiting near the door, with no Doritos in the house. Stack the deck in your favor by changing the environment to support the change. That means taking some things out that trigger bad behavior. You might do this a bit at a time or all at once, depending on how you approach change. Shaping the environment means that you make the best choice, the easiest possible choice. I finally put my exercise clothes on the bed to make it as easy as possible to encourage yoga, tai chi, and other forms of exercise. It helped. And with my exercise clothes on, I focused on feeling good as I did life-giving behaviors. I shaped my language to reinforce the habit I was wiring in my brain. I eventually got traction with the movement and exercise pattern. Now I can't live without it. That's the power of habit. And when you master the process of habit making, it will bless your life. In summary, feed new habits. What fires together, wires together. Feeling good when you do the new habit at the same trigger or cue helps your brain connect pleasure with a life-giving habit. Second, associate pain with the bad habit. This is not a rational but an emotional experience if feel the pain deeply. Let the emotional pain drive you to a committed decision for change. Third, take incremental or baby steps and be patient with yourself. 2 steps forward and 1 step back is progress. Celebrate progress. Fourth, take advantage of habit stacking, or which means adding in a new positive behavior with existing habits. Fifth, watch your language. Let your language align with the habit you are wiring. And finally, shape the environment to align with life-giving habits. Make it easy because energy tends to follow the path of least resistance. Okay, friends, rewiring your brain for new habits will change your life. You now know how to hack your brain's wiring to make change stick. Thanks for joining the Change Capability Institute and subscribing to the channel to keep content like this coming.